I need one.
Okay. So in last class, we completed some terms of Scrum. Okay, from Scrum scenario, we have 12 terms. So from the 12 term, we complete this product owner, Scrum Master, Tech Lead, and the team. We complete this four. Okay. So let's move to backlog grooming. Okay. I will ask later like what you understand at the end of the meeting. Okay. So let's continue to our topics. So nothing about 5.1. These are 5.1 backlog. So what is that generally? So you have some backlog in your academics. Okay, like me, some person have backlog in their academics. So that only, okay, like pending task. We can say pending task. So before going to backlog, there will be grooming. So what we can say, what is the backlog grooming? Grooming means what do you mean by grooming, guys?
Just to improve.
Improve and all, okay. So how to improve your backlogs? Generally, backlog is like pending task, and you just you not pass some particular subject in your academics, and you have to groom that. How you can get more backlog? Is it? No. How you will going to clear your backlogs? So that will like of backlog grooming. So it is nothing but a meeting. Like generally, it is a meeting only. Okay. It is one. It is one of a meeting. One of a meet. It is a meeting. Okay. It is a meeting which will conduct by Scrum Master. Generally, every meeting in Scrum methodology or Scrum model, only Scrum Master will conduct every meeting. Each and every meeting conducted by the Scrum Master only. Here, who will be present? Okay, in the backlog grooming. Anyhow, the Scrum Master will be give, uh, going to call. Okay, so there will be some platform now to communicate, like to call or to give a meeting. So there are so many platforms. WebEx. Okay, I think you heard about. And WebEx also there. Zoom. Zoom also they can provide Zoom meeting call. Okay, or Microsoft Team. Okay, nothing but Skype, and they can also use Hangouts or Google Meet. Anything they can use. So like that, or they can create their own software to communicate in the particular company. That will be also good. But generally, they perform like WebEx or Zoom or Team or Skype or Meet. Okay, because we already have some communication platform. So unnecessary, why they waste the time? If they have big MNC and a lot of people they're working, then they can create their own communication platform and all. Okay, so need not to worry. Like already ready made something you can in market, so we can use that. So is we are using Skype. Like the meeting also will be happen on Skype or some other platform. So what will be going to happen in this meeting? Okay. So and who will be going to join this meeting? All team members, all Agile team member, nothing but Agile team members, as well as your Scrum Master also will be there. Scrum Master and as well as your product owner. So what will be happen here? They will call, okay, they will identify the total project or analyze the total project, which task will going to come in future. Okay. So for example, see, if you create a application, so there will be a database connectivity required. There is a database software is required. We have to use a particular ID. We have to use a particular server. We have to use a particular technology. After that, you have to create a repository. Lot of thing is there. Okay, so everything will be going to planning here. They will create a repository like Git or SBN or some other Bitbucket kind of repository they will going to create. Repository is nothing but database for code. Okay, simply just remember repository is nothing but there is a database for the code and with the different type of version. Okay, so in how you have a database for storing the particular data and information like that there is a repository or database like not or your database that is a repository act like the DB and where you can store code. So for your information or for your like knowledge sake or for you to recognize you can directly say core repository or core database. Okay, so better core repository is a good one. So use core repository where we can store our code. So like that, they will plan. Okay, which task will come, like going to come, like should we provide email configuration, all things they will plan and they will maintain a backlog. Okay, so backlog is nothing but they will just list out the task. For example, if you're going to visit some place, so you have to plan. Now. So I have to pack this, I have to pack this, I have to do this, I have to buy this camera, I have to do this blogging, like a kind of thing you are planning. So backlog grooming is nothing but it is a planning meeting or it is like going to plan meeting and it will collect the list of tasks or list of work we will going to do in future. Okay. Otherwise, for in future, like until 4 5 sprint, it will be covered. Okay, otherwise it will entire cover the entire project. They will sit 1 day, not today, 1 day, and we will analyze everything from end to end. Okay, all tool, code, technology, database software, repository, everything they will plan and they will create a story task. Okay, I will come to what is story and what is task. I am going to come. Need not to worry. So this is backlog grooming. So in this meeting, what you can do, we will identify identify uh, our future work in the project. Future work nothing but task. Work means task, okay? In project. Okay. So see, after creating the backlogs, we have to write somewhere, no? So nothing but we are going to use Jira software to write the backlogs. Okay. In the project, okay, in Jira, like just to be allocated, I will tell in the backlog domain backlog. So we have to identify which task will going to come and what we have to do. We have to maintain in a particular way. Like nothing but in Jira we will going to maintain. Okay. So next point. Get user story. User story is nothing but see. Like someone said, like in our meeting, when you just conduct a meeting, Munna said, Nirmal, we need a core repository. So then only we can push and pull the code to a centralized manner. So then that will come into a story. That will never will become a task. Task means there is some part, coding part or something where I will assign to some particular person. Okay, like Munna said that like to create a repository. So I will create a task. Munna said that that is story. When I just create another thing that is called task, I will give it. I will create a task and I will assign to Pappu. Pappu, it is your responsibility to create the repository and to give the access to everyone. Okay. Generally, tech lead or your scrum master, anyhow, your tech lead will going to create all the things. So your tech lead, like consider Pappu your tech lead. So to Pappu, I will tell Pappu, you have to, I assign a task to Pappu. Pappu, this is your task. You have to create your repository and your project structure. Okay. If Munna said, Nirmal, you have to do that, then that will become a story. I will mention a story. When I just create a task and I will give assign to Pappu, that will become a task. Okay, that will be going to clear when I just give the use of Jira. Okay, So we will create a user story for requirement in Jira only, in Jira software, inside Jira. Okay, I will show like how to create story, how to create task and all of it. You need not to worry everything. So all team members will create stories. They can create stories, okay? Jira software. Jira in backlog bucket. So where we store the backlogs, that is nothing but we said backlog buckets. So backlog is a one kind of story or one kind of a task we can say. Where we store that is a container called backlog bucket. So when you just store lot of mango in a bucket, we can say mango bucket. So like that, when you store all that backlog in some location, that location is called backlog bucket. Okay. So I will show what is a backlog bucket. I will take the screenshot and mention all everything. Okay. Backlog bucket. Okay. Bucket. Is it clear? What is backlog grooming? What will going to happen in backlog grooming?
Yeah.
Everyone,
Yeah, Nimrod. Yeah.
2 minutes, huh? Let's move on for second term. That is nothing but your next term, backlog. Okay. So see, we know what is the backlog grooming. And what is backlog? We have to know. So in backlog, nothing but your task and stories we are creating. Okay. So backlog is nothing but backlog means the pending work, the pending work, or we can say the future work. Backlog or the future work or the pending work of the project that need to complete in future. Need to complete in future. Okay, and the task and the stories like we are mentioning the backlog grooming, that is a backlog only. The task and story, everything will be in a some location. That is backlog. We are not complete actually we are not complete the task and stories. Until we just complete, that will be treated as a backlog. Okay. See, if I in my during academies, I just get a 4 backlog. Until I clear the backlog, that will be treated as a backlog only. Na? If I clear that one, that we can say, yeah, my physics clear, my chemistry is clear. Until I clear that subject in my academics, that will be treated as a backlog. Like that, until we complete the task or story, that will be treated as a backlog. Okay, clear? So next, what is the next? So for every story, okay, for every story, we will every task. For every task, okay, for every task, we will create a story in backlog bucket. So for example, okay, there is a task to create a project structure. So everyone not going to create project structure. Some one person will going to create project structure, and he will push or what you can say. He will going to commit in the SBN or bit bucket or git. Other people take the checkout or take the update or take the pull. Sorry, push. Like something they will do according to the according to the repository, according to Git, according to the SBN, according to the Bitbucket. They have to do different operations. So to create a project structure, that is a task. So for that you have to mention a story. So in story you have to mention in project structure you have to give this dependency and all you have to mention. Okay. So story is the like more information. Task is a single line. Okay. So like that you have to create. Next. Um, okay. For every story and task in task story and task in Jira we have a ID. Jira. Uh, okay. For every story and task, Jira provides a ID according to your project ID. Okay, according to your project. So according to your project, Jira will provide a like Jira ID or task ID or story ID that will related to your project. Okay. So when I just create the backlog and all, you will get to know. Okay. Okay. So when we going to write story, we should mention, we should write description. Description in the sense like who said the story? Like Munna said the story. What what is the story? Like, see, for the description, we have to give the brief, like we have to detail information. But in the heading, we have to just like we write like that. Create a build bucket repository. But inside the description, we will write this story is said by Munna. Okay, who Munna said? What is the like reason to get the code for code access? Why? Like that, you have to mention what, who, what to why. Okay, so like this. So we will mention like in story we'll mention create a code repository. In description, who said Munna said. What is the reason? What is the like what we have to do? So we have to create a Git code repository. Why? To understand why to get co-access uh, throughout the team. So like that you have to mention the story. And when you just create a task, that should be assigned. Okay, that not like who, what, and all. That should be assigned. Like when I just create a task for the particular story, I will assign to Pappu. Pappu, this story is created by Munna, and I assign to you. You have to work on that. Okay. So this is the thing. And uh, every okay, let it be. Story point will cover later. Okay. Yeah, I think this is story one. This is story. I not give the heading. This is for every task we will create a story in Bitbucket. So so for every task we will create a story in Bitbucket. For every story and task or okay, for every story or task, Jira provide a ID, and for when we create a story, we have to write the description. Okay. So task is like a given execution. Okay, like a story is like some information. Like so story point. Okay, nothing. Next story point. Story point is nothing but to complete each and every task, every story, and task. Like, that is nothing but a story point. Just see, if to complete a story, we need a 1 day time. So that story point will be going to one. Okay, if to complete a story, we need 2 days time. Then the story point becomes 2. Okay, clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, in some scenario in task, maybe it will be hour. Okay, so here that there also we will mention 1 and 2. So according that they have to analyze. Okay, if someone mention 8, so that means that it will become an hour. Okay, if someone mentioned a 6, then it will also become an hour, not day. Okay, to complete one story that will not at least hardly 2 days. Okay, if someone mentioned beyond 2, okay, beyond 2, that means that it will be treated as hour, and that will be discussed with the team. Like when you just conduct the scrum master meeting, he will say, okay, our story point we will take as an hour or a hour, we will take as a day. So that in that particular team they will decide which like story point they will treat it as a day or hour. Okay, so we also going to discuss like story point will be treated as hour or day. So generally they mention as a day, but if they mention you are thinking some task will not take 1 day, so you have to mention some hour, na? So in that scenario, you have to treat it as your story point as hour. Clear everyone with the all the term from the backlog grooming, backlog story and story points.
Done. Yeah.
Everyone. Okay. So next, what is the next term? So this much is complete. Let me yeah. Done. Backlog, story and story point also finally. Let's come to the sprint and sprint planning. So first we will talk what is sprint planning, then we will talk as what is sprint. Planning is nothing but also it is a meeting only. Okay, with the efforts conducted by the Scrum Master. Scrum Master only. Okay, so sprint. Okay, mm, first let me complete what is sprint. Then we will get idea. Sprint means release. One release. We can say sprint. Okay. So version 1, that is like you complete a one release, that is complete one sprint. Okay, sprint is nothing but you can say release. Three, this sprint will have a duration is 2 week. Okay, like the duration must be 2 week, like not more than 2 week. Minimum, okay, minimum is 2 week. Sorry, maximum is 2 week. Minimum you can take 1 week or some 8 day, 9 day like that. Okay, so hardly it will come to the 2 week. So in every sprint will have every sprint will have a target or goal. Okay, like to complete. Target means target and goal to complete around 100 around 100 stories. Okay, like around 100 stories. If your team size is 100 stories, if your team size, okay, 100 or 200, around 100 to 200, if your team size is 7, size is 7, then okay, and your team size is 2 and 3 or 4, you are planning to complete a 100 story and 200 story, it is not going to work out. Okay, so generally 100 to 196 we are thinking, but let's write the exact value. So this is like terms. Okay, like 196 story they will going to complete, and anyhow the story will be one day and like that. Okay, 1 and 2 story will complete in 1 day like that. Okay, if your team size is 7 and beyond 7, so it is for the 100 for the 7 member, because 7 into 14. Okay, how much they will let's calculate. So we have seven member, and in 1 week, just 10 days. Okay, so 10 days with 7 to 7. So we have 70 days. Just assume 70 days. So 70 days. So every people have worked 70 days. No, no. what we can say. Every people should work 10 days. So in 10 days, we can complete 70 story. So around like that only we have to complete 100 to 90, 196 according to the team size. Okay. Not like if your team is 4 people, they not took like around 196 story. They can take 80 story kind of thing for the 2 weeks. Okay. So some calculation here according to the task that will be this numbers is vary. Okay. Need not to worry. So next we're going to sprint planning. Sprint is like nothing. Is a release on which we will going to complete a list of story or a list of tasks. Okay, sprint planning. So it is a meeting will conduct by Scrum Master, Agile team. Here the BA will not be going to include. Okay, if your BA is free, he will come and he will sit idle. Okay, the role of BA is nothing here. Like the role of there is no role here, no scenario for BA or your product owner in this sprint planning. Okay, but your tech lead, your entire agile team will be here. So in sprint planning, all team member and Scrum Master and like product owner also come. Okay, product owner also he can join. Okay, like if you want to give some planning and he have a better plan, a suggestion, he also can join. Okay, according to his availability. But a Scrum Master, your team, your tech lead, everyone should be in the sprint planning. It is optional. Product owner is optional, but every is mandatory. Other persons are mandatory. They have to join. Otherwise, who will going to plan? The team can't make the planning. Okay, they will just for the execution. Your Scrum Master, your tech lead, and your also your product owner also come to the sprint planning. Okay, so next. As for this sprint, for the sprint planning, we will identify which stories or tasks we need. We need to deliver this release. We need to deliver in upcoming release. Upcoming sprint or release. So see, there are so many backlogs in the backlog bucket of backlog. Okay, backlog bucket. We have lot of backlogs. So from the backlog, we have to pick some items or pick some stories or pick some tasks to complete in this upcoming 2 weeks. Okay. So for according to the priority, you can't pick like this is like there is a task we can pick and we can work. No. So according to the priority, we have to pick the task. We have to give we have to start the sprint. We can give a release to them. Okay. So is it clear? Sprint planning.
Yeah, yeah, Nirmal. Yeah, Nirmal.
Yeah.
In, in the sprint planning, in the sprint planning session or sprint planning meeting. Okay. After deciding stories to deliver, stories to deliver, we will walk through the stories. Walk through all stories. Not like backlog stories. We have to go for the sprint stories, but we like which stories assigned to you and all stories, and will verify title. Okay, and story point. See, I will create give a title, and I'll not give any description, and I will give story point two, and I will assign the task to Vishal. Okay, so Vishal will not go like that. That means I will assign one day, like one day to Vishal, and I will not mention in this description. I just create a title, and I assign the task or story to the Vishal, and I will tell Vishal you have to complete this task, Vishal. So what he will do? Is it not a good way? Okay, after the session complete, after session, after decision of sprint planning, every team member should go their task, particular task. If I send five story to Vishal, Vishal will check the five story. Yeah, is it complete in this much of duration? Is it give the proper description, or should I need some more information? Okay, not coding wise. Okay, you can ask description like to the complete that task and all. Okay, coding you have to do anyhow. So according that the sprint, you need some more information, so you can ask them. Okay, and after the checking that, and we'll check and we'll check, and any corrections is required. Correction are required. If some correction is required, you can tell them like who create the story, and then who assign the tasks. Okay, and you also can do the correction also. You can inform them, sir, like this much will take much time. Can we change and all? We can ask them, and we can also do the correction. Until asking your tech lead or scrum master, don't change anything. If you want to change, like after coming the meeting, just you can ask for time. So give 10 minutes. So we can stay in the call and we can verify the stories that we are assigned to us, and according that we can do some corrections. So in the meeting also itself do the correction. Otherwise, if a scrum master said, yeah, verify and let me know is it okay with everyone. If you're not okay at that time only itself, just inform them, sir, I'm not okay with the timeline what you provide to me, it is not complete. I don't think I'm complete that much. And see, if an experienced person and they will give a small task and you are thinking like a fresher, then it will not going to work out. Okay. If you're experienced person, then if you give a small time for like as compared to a fresher, then you have to complete that task. Be a mature one. Okay. So this is the last point. So a sprint, when you're just going to plan a sprint, we will give some name to the sprint, and we will choose some starting date and ending date, and we will plan the sprint goal. Okay. So what you can say in this planning, in this planning, Scrum Master will create a sprint and will particular name, starting date, ending date, and goal of the sprint. When I go for the practical, you will get more clarity. Okay, so need not to worry about the terms. So how much we complete? Sprint planning also completed. Scrum. So next term is nothing but so see, after this sprint planning complete, the sprint will be going to start. Okay, so that means the release will going to start. If our end date is 7, so sorry, end date is 15 or 20. So if I start a sprint at 12, so that will be complete on 20. Like that, it will be complete. So meanwhile, we will conduct some meetings like Scrum. Understand? So one point I missed something. After creating a sprint and all, so the Scrum Master will going to assign the task to the particular team. Sorry, particular member. Okay. After creating the sprint, like during the sprint planning, when you just move some backlog to a particular sprint and you start the sprint, so the Scrum Master will assign to a particular member. Okay, particular member name, he will mention the name and they can do. Okay. So when they start the sprint, like which task is assigned to you, that will come your like a to-do section. Okay. So there is a screen. There is a screen. Wait, let me show the screen. Web tech and yeah, this is a Jira. So see, yeah, this is the backlog. Okay. This is the backlog, and these are the backlogs. Okay. And this section, this entire section is backlog bucket, and this is a sprint. Okay, and here I will give some day like 5, that is means 5 day or 5 hours something. And when you just click on that one, this is your title. Here you can mention description, and okay, here you can mention description and all. You can save it, and you can assign to a particular person. And this is a sprint. Okay, sprint, like sprint from which sprint is related to a particular sprint. And this is a story point. So I will give a brief information, Jira like tour. There are tour in coming tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow I will give. So until that, just wait. Okay. So like that, when your Scrum Master start a sprint, you have to assign a task to a particular person. So see, this is assigned to some person. I will assign to this one is another person. Like that, I have to assign and I will give some story point. Some two. Yes, make it yes. And if I want to give a description, click on that task. You can give description. You can make comment here. Everything I can do. And when you just start a sprint, let's start a sprint. Let it be. We are not a deliver like see. So particular user, see, I am the user of this task is assigned to me. So when I start this task, I will move to in progress. From there, I will move to done. If it is complete, then I will move to done. Okay, so entire everything I will create. I will how to create a Jira, how to create account, how to create a particular project, how to create backlog, how to create sprint. Everything I will give a tour on tomorrow class. So let's complete at least Scrum. Then there will be two term will be pending. This mid iteration and retrospective. I will cover in tomorrow class and I will give a tour on Scrum. Sorry, on Jira tool. Okay. So what is Scrum? So, okay, Scrum is nothing but what it is. Sprint, okay, the sprint every day, Scrum meeting will be available. Scrum meeting will be there. So means every day they have to call and they have to take the update. So Scrum Master, what update I will tell on. Scrum Master will conduct anyhow he will conduct the meeting, okay. Scrum Master will conduct the meeting. Like around it will be 15 to 20 minutes, okay. Scrum meeting. Not much time. If you discuss anything that is not a treated as Scrum call, okay. If you discuss because the coding part, you discuss on some other calls that is not treated as Scrum call, okay. So sorry. Yes. Scrum meeting duration will be 15 to 20, sorry, 15 to 30 minutes. If you more than 30, and that is not treated as Scrum. Okay. So in Scrum meeting, Scrum Master will collect, collect the team members status or work status details or updates. Like what you have to collect. Like yesterday, what you done. So you can directly say I complete this task, or you can directly say, see, if if your project name some CS and more of a C. Here there is a TAC na, it is your ID, task ID. So like that you can say I complete TA2. Okay, your project and ID completed. You can mention like that, or you can explain. Okay, if they need explanation, see, if you have a big 7 member of team, they can't like you can't explain this much. Okay, so you can directly say I completed CS or TA2 task I completed. So what you will going to do today? Today, what are you doing, or what are you going to do? We are going to do one. What are you doing? Okay. So here also you can mention I'm working on TA3 in progress. So and last one, nothing but list now. What you have to do here are one any bug, sorry, any blocker issue. Means did you face some issue, or did you pause the task somewhere? Like did you face some issue, or did you going to get some issue? You can mention. If you're not going to get any issue, you're not facing any issue in the last day, you can say no. Yeah, this much you have to give. Okay, and this all this information will be collected by the Scrum Master in the Scrum call itself. And moreover, if some person, if you are okay, if you are not able to join to meeting, means you have to leave, or you are on some other work. If you are not able to join the meeting, and the Scrum meeting, you have you have to send the status. See your status. You have to send a mail like I'm on leave. Also, you have to send a status mail. Okay, status details to Scrum Master email. So see, when you just unable to connect, or unable to able to attend the meeting, or you have some other work, or you are leave, you send an email. That is like other thing. But you have to send the status mail. Like yesterday, what you complete, or today you can mention, yeah, I'm on leave, or any blocker issue. No, like that you have to create a mail. Sorry, you have to send a mail to a Scrum Master. Maybe you can include your team member and all. Otherwise, you're not going to include also. But you have to send the mail to Scrum Master. And make sure when I just start our project plan, and when I just plan a sprint and all, at that time we have to strictly follow this thing. For example, if Munna is a Scrum Master for this week, if someone going to not attend the meeting, he or she have to give a mail to Munna and include your tech lead also. Okay, if your team, if your Scrum Master is Munna and your tech lead is sorry, Sweta. Okay, so you have to include those person. You have to two in your Scrum Master in CC. You have to mention your tech lead or your team members also. You can mention in leave. You can mention your team lead, team members, and your update mail also. You can add your team members. So you have to send the mail anyhow. Okay. And if you say, I forgot to send mail, so that will be not to listen. If you follow some structure, then that is strict. Means you have to follow this, means follow this. Okay. Clear? Up to Scrum, it is clear.
Yeah, Nirvan.
Everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's.
Yes, Nirmal.
Okay. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm stop the recording.